should be working now. The desktop. That should be working now. The desktop. That should be working now. Trying to get this all set up, right? Alright, trying to see what the lag is here and making sure the audio is working. Test. Oh, okay, it's only at like a 3-second lag. Just finishing up getting ready here before I hop in verse. Eating up all the bandwidth. Oh, okay, so it's set on the 1060, 1080, alright. This is the first time streaming from 2 different PCs. I want to make sure there's no... Alright. Hoping it's not reverbing my voice. So I upgraded my system recently. My neighbor was a Bitcoin miner and he had some stuff to get rid of. So wound up scoring a Ryzen 7 1800X, a 1080 Ti, 1000-watt power supply, all for like $550. And so far, a 1080 Ti from a mining rig hasn't been bad. People say to stay away from them, but I've never known anyone that's bought one, so this will be the first. And it's the Gigabyte WindForce he had. And then so now, and I had upgraded my other PC, just the chip, to a Ryzen 5 2600X. So I got 2 PCs going, one for streaming, and so it's a little tricky getting the audio to work. So, and I went and splurged for a Christmas present myself and got an Acer 32-inch Predator monitor at 1440. So I'm gaming at 1440, and I found this Chinese capture card on eBay for 89 bucks. It says it did 4K and 2K. So I think a couple of times I may do some 1440 streams, but I'll have to do it directly from my gaming PC because I need a display port. And the G-Sync makes a huge difference. Like, it smooths out the frames for you in Star Citizen even when they're really low. Like, you know, high teens, low 20s. So, you know, so far, but springing the extra 160 bucks for the G-Sync, I think, has been worth it. Because there's an aUEC 32-inch that's 400 bucks. It has FreeSync. And this Predator model was right around 580. I'll hop into it. And I mean, I've had some pretty stable runs and wanted to start streaming again. The game's been fun, and there's a free fly week, the 23rd. I am going to, if I can get to it, post a link for the free fly schedule. Oh shit, we're already in verse, and I'm not at Loreville because I don't know, when you get rolling playing, sometimes it takes a little bit. It'll be a couple crashes while you're trying to get out of there. So, and I'm not, because I did some upgrading to my PC, I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot during the ship sale, but I'm going to get a couple upgrades for a future pack that I am shooting for here. So let me, the audio's a little crackly, so that's on my end. But I mean, the game looks amazing at 1440. And I didn't want to go 4K because you know, it's hard getting the hardware to always really push it. Oops, 2 keyboards. So that'll give you a chance. Each day there'll be a different ship to fly for free. Let me download it, check it out. If you have the PC for it, and at least, all right. So we're pretty well suited and booted. Now I do have a Kraken now. I wound up springing for a Kraken because I do want to get into trading and buying and selling and like cargo hauling, and then exploring as like a secondary, because there's going to be times you're just going to want to take off. So that's this Friday. The free fly starts on through the 30th. And the ships I'm getting are more support for, or is going to be support for the Kraken, and then going from there. So an Endeavor, a Caterpillar, a Starfarer, some small defensive ships. I know I want to get a couple Buccaneers, but I can just buy, even though I don't have it, but it's a ship that's for sale all the time, I can buy a Cutlass to Buccaneer upgrade, and the Buccaneer is 110, the Cutlass is 100, so then I can just pay $10. And let's see. Oh, I don't have, okay, I still have the Cyclone. Alright, so I know one thing's for sure. We lost all our ammo and stuff, I bet. But I've had some pretty smooth gameplay so far with SC. I've been super happy by this release, and this will be out by Friday, so it'll be for all that free fly. It'll be there we go. See, now that the chroma's not right on that. I'm still messing with my setup, trying to get it just right. Because Twitch has a really good community, and so I've been doing some there. But just getting kind of back into it. This would have put a microphone. But so any feedback is welcome as well. Kind of messing with some stuff on the side. Alright. So ship. I think this had a gun missing. So we're gonna go to Levski and get a Panther. I guess it's got its weapons. Alright. We're gonna take this. Oh, there's some people here. See, I'm getting weird audio. So let me know how the audio is for you guys, if I can even see the chat. I think it's just my headphones sound like shit. I don't know. Oop, wrong computer. Alright, there we go. Something seems weird with the audio. Open. Not quite sure what that is, so I'm not gonna mess with it. Pressing. was doing something weird because of the capture device. Yeah, I'm trying to get this audio figured out. Huh. See, every time I hear it, it's a Kraken. I have no idea where I'm going. Gee, that was black. I'm actually getting really weird. Hold on, let me. luckily we didn't take off and done anything. Alright. Appreciate everyone stopping by. Check out the stream. Doing different things. It's gotten so much fun. For the most part, anyway. So I'll turn that down a little bit. Alright. There we go. Alright, actually, let's do a little check here. So definitely, so I think I'm gonna grab a ground vehicle at Levski. Okay, so that's state equipped. Weapons. I want to go to magazines. The magazines. Okay, so those are staying so far so good, but man, the NPCs look amazing now because they wanted to make them so you could technically like blend in with them. So if you're running from somebody, and there's been, especially at frickin' Loreville, and if anyone wants to see, we can go there. It's just that, you know, there was a struggle getting out of there, but I think they got it pretty well fixed. And I found some stuff that's been pretty spot on as far as distances and getting to your hangar. Because the problem is it shows your hangar number right off the bat if there's a pad that's available. If it's not, it just says you're in the queue. And then it eventually does call up your ship, and you don't know what number. And every other place you can run back to the terminal real quick and search your ships, and it'll say, oh, alright, it's on pad, you know, whatever the number is. And these are still my favorite elevators. I know I got the audio between the computers is the toughest part for me so far. So right now I got just a 3.55 or 3.55 jack running from one PC to the other. One has a speaker out and one has a line in. So any feedback on the audio is much appreciated. Alright, all these Auroras. But so right now I am down to just the Kraken and owning the Kraken and a Raven. And they haven't put the loaners in. The loaners for the Kraken is the Hammerhead and the oh, what is it called? The Buccaneer. Jeez. But in this, so this will be released to everyone coming up in on the 23rd in this build too. This is like the first wave, and then for the free fly, they'll open it to everyone, so even you don't have to pay anything right now starting Friday, and each day there's going to be a different free ship to fly. I am a moron right now. Retreat. keep in mind, I'm gaming at 1440 right now, so the numbers you're gonna see up top are gonna be for gaming at 1440. So on a 1080 Ti, and the monitor does have G-Sync with a Ryzen 7 1800X. And the streaming PC is on its own thing, so this is purely. Oh. At least it stops and doesn't crush you. I hate it when buttons don't work. Alright, I mean, and this is the best all-around ship still. You'll catch everyone who streams on Twitch or YouTube. They all have, this is the most versatile. You get 44 cargo units, which is good. You can make some money off that. And it's, you know, a small multi-crew. You do have the turret and the co-pilot seat, so you got 3, but there's really only 2 beds. But you'd be probably on a rotation anyway. Alright. So we want to go to... And I believe the frame counter from the NVIDIA, whatever, experience is in the lower left. Oh, he's hitting me. Did I get the destination set at least? People are jerks. I could really go anywhere. I guess I didn't have to go to Delamar. But it's a safe zone. I wanted to explore outside of Lorville. I mean, Lorville, so funny because I heard somebody else say this. It's like sometimes you just want to get the hell out of there, and other times you want to be there. I've only explored the outside a little bit. And the wreckage on the outside, it looks like the Wastelands almost. Like they're doing an amazing job with this game. And it finally just hit 200 million in what, since 2012. So that's 6 years. Think about it. Most game studios get that money right off the bat. Like Red Dead, I think that was like 263 million. So they've done some pretty cool stuff with the money that we've given them as a community. So I have a ship pack goal I'm shooting for, a few upgrades over the anniversary sale. So I want to do it a lot with my PC hardware, and it just kind of came at the bad time, even though I know when the ship sale is every year. But there's this Interceptor pack, and that one, there's not a ton of great ships. But there's 18 of them, and the package has LTI, which is the lifetime insurance, and any ship you upgrade, you can upgrade them individually, but those ships in turn inherit the LTI. So even if you had, and you can only upgrade single ships within that pack, you can't melt them individually without melting the whole pack. But that's the price for LTI. So I'm going for that, and that's $1,400. So hopefully that'll happen here. Probably January is what I'm shooting for. And then these upgrades I'm buying, at the anniversary sale for the Endeavor, the Caterpillar, or to get the Endeavor and the Caterpillar, and a couple others, you can actually buy upgrades for ships you don't have. So that's what I'm going to wind up doing. I can save a little bit longer and get the pack I want, and then that way I have something, you know, all for support of the Org and the Kraken, because that's probably what it's going to be based around. And I want to get into trading and distilled spirits, so, and that's what is pretty profitable in the game now, so coming up with some things, and we'll see how it pans out. But so one streaming machine has a Ryzen 5 2600X with a 1050 Ti and then SSDs and all that good stuff, and 16 gigs of RAM. And that's plenty to run the come on, slow down already. Jeez Louise.
On behalf of the People's Alliance, welcome to Let's Ski. Name's Eslin. I run the hangars here, which is great for you because you're probably looking to land.
Yeah, Eslin. As a matter of fact, oh no, actually I'm not. We're just gonna do a simple pickup here, so. I know this breaks the immersion, but I like to know where I'm landing. Oh, and that was one of my see, now they changed. I don't know, some man. This game looks awesome, even in 2K. Although I think the new 2080 Ti's will finally get in that steady 60 FPS at 4K. 'Cause you need a lot of hardware to. This used to be called Legacy, but okay, I mean 30. But so I try to pay attention to the working set memory and committed. So that's the RAM it's taking right now. So at one point there's 17 gigs out of 20, or no 30, no 24. So I got one more stick coming from Newegg. But they were talking about memory leaks this time around. And anytime you see real high spikes in your memory to check something, you know, in your task manager and look at the details. Because I haven't spent a whole lot of time just flying around Hurston, and
There, all set.
it's not too bad getting stuck. But the one thing that's really cool about Hurston is all the players wind up going there. So you always wind up sitting next to people on the train, and it's just kind of funny. And then some people are in VoIP. I need to figure out my microphone situation for that, because I tried a splitter. I think it might have messed up my audio ports a little bit. It just did. But in the VoIP sounding in game, they did a really cool how you hear it. Like, you definitely, it sounds like somebody's talking through a speaker, you know, in your helmet. It's clear and everything, but it's pretty sweet. So this is just your base trim brill. But and you know, the one thing that's even if you aren't going to buy anything during the ship sale, tune in, and they do like such a quality job on the commercials and selling. I mean, it's just great animated kind of stuff that they do. So I recommend, you know, checking it out, because they'll have, like, you know, the CEO of the manufacturer talking about their ships, and just like they did with like the Kraken. So what I did was I had about $1,000 worth of ships, and you know, I wrote in to get the Kraken because you had to apply for it. And the whole reason they were really doing that is just to keep from like the third party sellers and the Reddit, like the gray market, from buying up all the stock. So pretty much everyone um, could get one who at least got those emails. And who knows what we're going to see at the anniversary sale. There's probably going to be some crazy pack that comes with all the ships you need. But we'll see. Oh, my ship took a little damage. It probably should have landed. I didn't even pull in far enough. Gosh. Tell you what. Good help's hard to find these days. Even... Alright, come on. We need some lights. There we go. We should be good there. You know, yeah, now there's even more spots to trade with because you can trade with the rest stops, I believe, buy and sell stuff now. A few different places. Yeah, there's a few different. There's like a hidden drug lab on Yela somewhere. They moved it again, so I don't know how to get to it. But there's some cool stuff. Trading's one of the better things you can do right now. Oh, trading waste. Oh, you know, I don't know because you can get it for next to nothing, and Levski I think buys it for a little above nothing. So I think I don't know. You know, if you have enough of it because it's a low risk. So I think you know you aren't. I think you're good if you're like loading up a caterpillar with it. I think it's worth it. Just to see what you'd pull. Because, I mean, that's a low risk trip, low investment. But I wanted to try it with something like a caterpillar that holds the most cargo right now, I believe. Alright, so let's get a route planned to Old Hurston. And what's cool, some of the Hurston HUR points. So I'm going to actually go to Hurston. Although I don't think there's all that much on. I went to 2 of these so far. But I want to check out. So I haven't been to Pinewood. But I've been to the island. And the other one with the forest. But I'd at least, you know, if you have a caterpillar or something that holds a lot of cargo, I'd give the waste a try. So I think basically if you're in a Constellation, Starfarer, or something, yeah, in those class of ships that I might be forgetting, because those all have decent cargo amounts, so you'd have to really fill it up, and especially if it's like a short run that you can, you know, grind out. Because what I'm looking forward is I've been actually playing on this test stuff for a while now, for the past few months, or 2 months maybe. Oh, I think I should have made a stop at a rest stop to get repairs. Dang it. Dang it, dang it. I mean, this game just looks amazing. So, and when I got the 32-inch 1440 monitor, I was going to go widescreen, but then I was like looking at a lot of them, and a lot of stuff doesn't always support it. So I went with, it's like the 16 by 9. But I think the widescreen for the space I had set up and wanting to be on like a 32 inch, I wouldn't have had quite the space for the width. And then, so this is taller, and I feel this is really immersive because the stand's really big, um, and so got a lot closer to the front of me, not as far back. And you can get out and walk around while you're doing these, because this is probably going to be five to 10 minutes. We got to pass the sun there, so we'll be cruising along pretty good. But you can actually hop out, but there's one spot you have to be careful in the Cutlass when you're in jump, and it's somewhere like right around the front of the beds, and you'll wind up dying. So I kind of just chill from getting up and walking around, but in any other ship I will. So and I had another org breaking Atmos, but I disbanded it. And the rum, if I can distill it and put my own like label on it, it's going to be the 82, and I think that's was good for an org name as well. So that should finally stay solid, and working on more stuff for that. Just needed to get my PCs going again. And I wasn't sure if I was going to fully move over to Twitch, but I don't know. I like, there's still people that watch gaming YouTube. I'm not quite sure the rest of my Streamlabs, because I started using slobs, is like the chat on my screen isn't linking up with the right stream. That's interesting. Stream, YouTube. It's got the right key. But I know it works when you do the impromptu ones, because you always have like a preset. And last time this was logged into the wrong account. Cancel. General. Nothing helpful. Cruising along, but it's staying at above 60 FPS. But does drop down at Lorville. But what I like with the G-Sync, even when it gets to those low frames, it somehow keeps it, pretty smooth. So I guess anytime you can use G-Sync or the FreeSync with AMD, because I know there's all these monitors out there with FreeSync, but majority of people have NVIDIA cards. So AMD got to keep plugging away on their stuff. I think they're doing a good job. Even though in this, my next gaming actual PC will be the 2080 Ti, and it'll be probably the fastest Intel i7 chip, whatever they have. Maybe next year. And then definitely AMD on the streaming side. Although it's running really good, I'm not sure if I'm just getting a lot of GPU readings. So the GPU's under 56% load. Now GPU memory committed, 8,400 megabytes. So that's 8.4 gig on an 11 gig card, so that's a lot of committed memory, but it's really only running 2821. Oh yeah, maybe 3 gig of dedicated. Now let's see, at one point it committed, so I have 24 gigs of RAM, and at one point the peaked at 20 gig. Or, yeah. Yeah, 24. Oh. Texas Amber Alert. If you're in Dallas, Texas, they're looking for a 2003 Black Saturn Vue. Doesn't say what for. But if you're in the DFW, I moved to Texas, to Dallas, Texas, right in Dallas, back in April from Colorado. But I'm originally from Wisconsin, so if you hear that accent, but you never lose it. I was in Denver for 14 years, and then career opportunity came up in Dallas, and I still wake up like, how do I get to Texas? Oh, okay, Corsicana. I'm starting to get to know my Texas geography. Texas is big, but it's been cool so far. I've had a lot of fun. It actually reminds me a lot of where I grew up in Wisconsin. Except I'm like, was just picking a place online and found a place in the uptown area of Dallas, which is where SMU campus is. So and I like that they have kind of a variety of housing in all areas. Colorado just got super expensive, but I do miss it because it was a hot one in Dallas. I got here in the spring just in time for a couple weeks of over 100-degree weather or 90s, and then all of a sudden, like 2 days, it'd be 100 and something. Oh. Alright. Well. Now, years ago, I had a brother that lived in Lake Charles, but I never got the chance to go down there, and he lived there for a few years. It's a big, So Pinewood, I think I've been to. Is that what I locked in on the map? It must be, because nothing else is popping up. Well, we're gonna go check out Pinewood. And I think, but yeah, I want to make sure. So in the settings, okay, so you can view it in 1080, 60 FPS. Because I bought a Chinese capture card, one that actually has to be hooked into inside the PC and then has a pass-throughs. And because it was only $75 versus like almost 200. But it seems to be working. It says it captures 4K and 2K, but I don't think it does because I couldn't set the resolution to it. But still, for a capture card that, oh, what's going on here? For that, okay, there we go. No, I'm gonna get rid of that. I think things are sounding kind of funny too because my ship is damaged. Oh, it's dark here. I don't feel like going to a place that's dark. Clear out, go route. Oh, oops, clear out. Oh! So I have the location shown. There we go. So we are there. That kind what side's light. I think it does. No. Stanhope? Yeah, we'll go there. Hopefully. Because I think they did put the day-night cycle on it. Or just made every... Alright. Probably pretty close to Atmo there. Yeah, well, even this winter has been bad. Like, it got down to 4... Well, I guess it did get down to freezing here, like, for a few days. But then it warmed up and it was, like, 70 degrees. And definitely over the cold. So it's kind of nice. It's super mild. I had a chance to take a job back home in Wisconsin or here. And the offer was actually better here, but it's like, man, I just can't do the cold anymore. In Denver is not bad. Denver, like, gets 300 days of sunshine, and it's actually high deserts, but all the snow is up in the mountains, but it's really close. It's like, I go someplace where it's pretty much warm all year round. Comparably. But it's been a big year for Star Citizen if you're thinking about checking it out. Starting Friday, you can download it for free, and I'm sure they'll have a couple base ships that you can choose from, but then there'll be one flyable ship in-game every day till the 30th. And I think there's a link in chat still. If you click that, it'll take you to the schedule. So when I've been waiting for a capital ship to come up, and I was looking at the Idris, because that always comes up for sale. It might be up in price now. It was like, and that's like 1,500. But I got the Kraken and melted my hanger, and then paid the difference. And I had about $1,000 worth of ships, and then so now I'm down to the Kraken in my Saber Raven. But I'm just getting some upgrades for a future pack, yeah. Oh, and I don't know if everyone has access to this site, but when I land, I can show you this. They've been, and you have to, I think, it's part of like the agreement you agree to. They're taking everyone's system specs when they're playing the game, and keeping track of like the hardware they're using, and they came up kind of with this like live matrix of what people are getting on what. So if you go to the RSI site, it's like called telemetry or something on one. It's not support. But yeah, they definitely have a memory leak in the RAM, because at one point it jumped up and used commit peak 23 gigs of RAM, and then when I had 16, it would jump up to 15, but the game would be running fine. But so they do have a memory leak in their RAM somewhere. I'm gonna have to read up again tonight at some point. And then see how to report it. Because it was something you had to do in your task manager whenever you saw that to see. Oh, coming in kind of hot here. Ease off the old throttle. into the water. But I think this was the polluted coast they were showing. And I was rewatching the gameplay from CitizenCon, that stream. I think Board Gamer reposted it, and they show a Kraken in it at Lorville. I had to go back and rewatch it, and I was like, what? You got water. Back a little. Here's the coast. Might as well pick a spot to land. See, there's like, oh man, there's wreckage out here. Hmm. Yeah, well, and this was something so, when you go to Spectrum, there's a thing they post a forum for the patch and stuff you're seeing, and they, like, specifically also, yeah, requested it. Because even though it hits that peak, it doesn't seem to mess with the frames, but I guess because it's leaving that memory hanging. Oh, sorry, I'll get a drink here. Alright. Gig GPU, I think that'll do it. Is it like a workstation? I've seen some like NVIDIA graphics card that's had some crazy amounts of RAM in them. Oh, okay. See, now Radeon, you could use like a FreeSync monitor. Okay. Yeah, it's always getting nice getting those new, especially like graphics cards and stuff. Yeah, see, I went cheap on one of the motherboards, and luckily the computer, the guys, I bought some used stuff from a guy and wound up getting a great deal. Luckily, he had a good motherboard in it. No fire damage there. It's alright. Uh-oh. Lights. Lights room. Come on. opened it, didn't I? Oh my god. I was pretty sure I opened the door. There's a rock down there or something. Alright, so that's down. Don't know what we're hung up on. Yeah, you know, and I've always been there too, like, because I was packaging it at this store called Micro Center, I should have just sprung for a little bit more, you know, like 30 bucks more, and could have got a lot better motherboard. I feel you there. And that was when I upgraded my old machine, and then just wound up chatting with my neighbor, and he's like, "Oh, I got some stuff I want to sell," and gave me a good deal because he knew I'd be using it. Okay, so you don't hit every little rock anymore. Yeah, the used one I got from my neighbor, it was a gigabyte one, but it was under their gaming brand, Auroras or something like that. And you can definitely tell the difference between the cheap one that I bought and then a quality one like that. And I was like, all right, next time around, it's like, you know, spring the extra even up to $100. And it's just worth it, because then I guess you have it bought. You don't have to buy it again. You know, if you're broke till next payday, it's like you can ride it out, you know, and then once it's done, it's done. And see, these ship sales are always tough because it's always over, you know, Thanksgiving, and you're doing a lot of other shopping and stuff like that. It's like, man, could do it a month earlier. Because I think it's really cool what they're doing with the game. And you know, now they're getting all the tools they need to make everything, and stuff's coming out a lot faster. Like, 'cause I started playing since 2014, so just over the years, putting money into it, and it's still a game I can play and play. I was looking at my Steam library, and I was kind of sad because, you know, there's probably 400 bucks worth of games that I never play anymore because, you know, a new release comes out, or I've had Steam for a while now. So it's like, well, I could have dang near the, I could have a couple ships with that money. Right, Steam, can I return all these old games? The only game I ever heard about them doing a return on was No Man's Sky, which I have now because I picked it up at on, you know, on a sale for like 27 bucks. Whoa, it's hitting like an invisible wall, and it's actually a pretty good game now. Oh no, there's the water. All right, that's right. They don't have the water like mechanics working and everything. Okay. So I know you die. Kind of hitting stuff that's not there. The beaches of Levski. How beautiful. Or not Levski, sorry, Hurston. The polluted coast. I remember them talking about this in one of the panels as one of the different biomes for Hurston. Some are better than others. Alright, now let's see if we can get back to our ship. Alright. Gonna have to go for a little immersion here. Oh! Huh. Didn't blow up. Just wreckage. Some shit went down or was abandoned. Look at that. It stayed spawn and we were cruising around for a good while. Can appreciate that. We're gonna check out a place that's a little nicer. I think that's just awesome to see now. And the Noxes are actually riding really good. I wish I had a Nox. Those are pretty fun. Because they definitely got a really good pass not too long ago. But the Dragonflies are still pretty insane. When you go to park them in other vehicles anyway. Definitely when we get a chance. Close this bad boy down. Yeah, the seats are up. I guess there's still a little to get hung up on there. Yeah, the ship's definitely damaged. I've never tried to land at Lorville. I think there's a first time for everything. So we're going to boost out of here. Turn it and burn it. 100,000 meters. I think is what it is. Yeah, and I think this year will be the best year for anyone who's been on the edge. If they can, you know, between the 23rd and the 30th, wind up just starting an account and flying around for free. The community's really cool in Star Citizen 2, so that's why it's a game I've always stuck with. So, but want to try to make more friends between, you know, especially on players that watch YouTube and start getting into the more like multi crew type stuff. So here in the coming months, because then I'll have the ships to crew them. I think there's a lot of benefits from an org, like, because I know I plan, because I want to see the game get developed, so I don't mind spending, you know, a bunch of money on it, and not a ton, but then people like, you know, within orgs or in my org, you know, they're just starting out. Well, all I got's, you know, like an Aurora or a Mustang. It's like to borrow one of the ships I have. You know, there just may be like a favor attached to, like, oh, you know, but the next time we're doing this, you know, if you could help. Or, you know, you definitely would have to cover the running costs and maybe like a small percentage. And then, so then they have something they can go and, you know, load up a bunch of cargo with and go make, you know, make a profit. because they may have, you know, a lot of cash, but, you know, oh, well, if I go and buy a shit now, I won't have much cash. So if you can use somebody else's freelancer max or something like that, because that's the cool, the big draw of this game is the team play and the multiplayer. And yeah, and there already is. So if you go to the RSI website, there's already orgs, and there's a link, I believe, to one that I'm just starting now. But you can kind of see how they work, um, and and then they also link up with Spectrum, which is it's like a pretty much another website, but all your contacts and everything are gonna link between Spectrum and your mobiGlass. Because right now, and I've recopied my account, so then the people I usually do play with aren't my contacts anymore. I gotta add them again. But then once it goes live on the 23rd, there's some people I've been playing with on Twitch. There's this guy Polysapien. He has a really good channel that he's kind of just starting. So I'm gonna try to land at Lorville. Is the plan. Alright. So I've never been sure where to land at Lorville, but we'll set a route. Just to make it easy. Oh, that's my okay. Oh, it looks like there's some people jumping there already. I think that's because you usually have to be in parties for that, but they could have changed it to where who's ever drawing in the target to jump. Yeah, now I just downloaded that. Now that's the airplane and like helicopter. Uh, yeah, because Steam, I don't know, a month ago was doing that, but I haven't jumped into it yet. And I do have a HOTAS set up. I have that Thrustmaster TM 16,000, just a throttle and stick. We want to make sure we got Lorville in the sights. I hate it when you come flying out like that. Hurston. That looks like Lorville right there. Alright, let's boost her on in. I don't want to use up all my hydrogen. So we'll just mosey on in there real nice, like. Yeah, no, a lot of people like and also people are using the Xbox controller too, so I think that. And then, yeah, with a mix of. Yeah, and it's. But then, there's something else you can plan for now too if you need to upgrade, like the motherboard. And I know with mine, it's taken like maybe a year and a half to finally get it where it's good. And then it's nice because you can actually, if you're just buying that one thing, it's a little easier to get something a little nicer, and not have to get everything at once. But yeah, that's always a bummer. Like you get one new thing, it's like, oh But it's still cool. It's, you know, the coolest thing, you know, in your system. I mean, that's awesome. I know mine's the 1080 Ti. Now that I got used, but that was a gigabit WinForce. But when I turn on the afterburner, MSI afterburner, for some reason it kicks on the fans super high and they're loud. So I did see some shrouds for the same model on eBay, so I may pick it up and use some good new thermal paste on everything and replace them. It was like, well, it's $100, but I think it'd be worth it. So I know there's the no-fly zone. I haven't approached these yet. I haven't went out to these perimeters either. We still got a little bit of a flight in, but yeah, and now I just picked up 2 RAM sticks, and it seemed to have gone down in price because it was $120 for 2 sticks on Newegg, and it's G Skill, and its base is 2133. But you just have to go into the RAM overclocking, and it sets to 3000. And those were $60 a piece, so I think some of it's coming down a little bit. Because, yeah, there's all these brands of RAM, but I think there's only like 2 actual chip manufacturers that make the chips for them. There's the city. And so that's 4.5 meters high, that tower there. At some point, so there's some ships. So let's see if we can get... Alright, so that red flashing area is apparently a no-fly zone. So let's see if we make it or if we get shot down. Yeah, and I know Crytek actually lost a big part of that. I know I seen an update not too long ago, but there is some stuff still. And it's over the engine of the game. Because they aren't branding CryEngine anymore or whatever. So I hit the landing control. Whoa! Oh, shoot. Holy shit. They don't give you much of a window, hey? don't play around with the amount of room they give you, that's for sure. Oh, we got in there. Turn the lights off, bruh. Very nice. Better be complete. Where's the repair here? What? What? Why can't I? That's preposterous. Well, I was just gonna land and take off anyway. Now this place looks amazing. Good old, so this is Hurston, this is Lorville, the first big city. Oh, okay, for what, probably falsely inflating prices. I know that happened in the 80s with a lot of computer stuff. It didn't need to be expensive as it was. What is that field? Oh, so that field is the no-fly zone. And right now, if you fly into it, it blows you up. But there's also some gates where you can land just outside the... Oh, we get our first crash. Oh, error. So this seems that... So they were talking about this code. And where it happens. It only seems to... It seems to be just after or when you first get into Lorville. Add token, yeah. They could have pushed a patch tonight, so that's 4255. And not a different version. Sometimes you'll get those when they've pushed a patch. Because in the test PTU, they'll have a bunch of small little updates they're constantly doing. Now on the CPU, so in the gaming machine, it's the Ryzen 7 1800X. So, and then in the streaming machine, it's the Ryzen 5 2600X, which is the newer generation. So they have, and I want to upgrade this Ryzen 7 to the new generation because it's a lot less picky with RAM. So they definitely worked a lot of kinks out with their like second generation. So yeah, I have AMD CPU and then NVIDIA GPU. Oh, okay. Yeah, and when I first bought this Ryzen 5, the new generation, I bought a board and it said it was second generation compatible, but you had to flash the BIOS. And then this place, Micro Center, they're like, well, we charge 30 bucks extra for that, but they just let me return it. And then so when I was going to the 400 series motherboard, you know, there was one I could have got for $30 more. I was still getting the discount with the CPU. That's what's cool about PCs is how you can gradually make it better and better. It's like I think a lot of people think you have to go out there and get like the best thing possible. And I started out with it was the latest generation Intel i3 and a 1050 Ti, um, and not a great motherboard. So it just kind of over, yeah, maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years, built it up. All right, here we are in Lorville. I think it's working out good for people like trying to get out now. Before everyone was getting stuck here and getting really frustrated. And I want anyone who, because I'm definitely going to be streaming during the free fly, and so anyone who wants to download it or, has a PC good enough, are more than welcome to hop on, and you can add each other to the friends list and then group up to 8 people together. And then also using the in-game VoIP is pretty cool, but I gotta figure out a second microphone thing for that. So I was trying to split it from one, and the sound was just like terrible. Oh, I always forget. But and these are the halves that you're gonna be able to own. I don't know if I never really stopped and really looked at them. Oops. I don't think I can go back in. But these are the ones you're going to be able to buy in game. Yeah, and see, I was using an AMD laptop, like a touchscreen and stuff that I thought was, really good. And I got this game and tried to run it, and then realized that wasn't going to do it. So then I was like, all right, I'll start buying parts and pieces. The one thing at uh, Lorville is the dreaded elevator waits. The train ride's actually pretty cool. Um, so I haven't really explored here a ton, but I think I'll have to pop up the numbers again. So then that puts in the upper right the FPS and GPU memory. And Tessa spaceport. Oh, there's a Starfarer down there. See, I mean, this just looks freaking amazing. Boom. Oh, there's another one coming in. That's awesome. Just seeing, because those are actually... No, now I do have a 31-inch Acer Predator curve monitor, not widescreen format. And I actually play at 2K, so I'm playing at 1440. And then it splits out to the capture card, and it should be on your end, it should be 1080 60 FPS. So I don't know if you could check your settings and see if it gives you the 1080 60 FPS option. But you can play this on Oculus even though it's not fully supported, but still to have more immersion. Um, I know people are. All right. What up?
Don't dawdle, let's go.
Like they're doing an amazing job with it. NPCs, but they'll do weird things. So I guess we can go to the store or. Oh, I forgot to look at the signs and see where we were at. Okay, that's the residence. Metro Center. Um, yeah, and they're coming up with new ways that like um, don't require a ton of polygons. So it's like they're doing a lot of cool things with textures. Now they are using their NPC AI, I guess, and it is what they're um, find developing. Now I haven't taken the parameter line, so I think we're gonna cut out to one of the parameters if it lets us. And we'll go back to the spaceport because I haven't really explored and seen everything. No, I don't know. See, I've seen NPCs all line or people reported like NPCs just lining up at a door. I'm sure they have like it's pretty. It could be like a rail, but then they interact a lot more along that rail because they wanted to make NPCs so they look like other players, and they do. Like when you're playing, it's like, oh, is that you know another player or an NPC? But the guards, they got some cool armor.
Let's go.
And he has got a Demico, that thing, or Demico, that's one of my favorite guns in game. And they're a large machine gun. So, what parameter? Okay, we gotta have a map on this end. Here we go. So we're here at Metro Center. We're gonna wait to go to Tesla Spaceport. Should go right. What's that? Ancillary line. Okay, that's right. There's three: the central, the industrial, and well, maybe that one. Can we take that one? So where does it split? City Gates 5. And then we got the timer for when the train comes. Well, I guess we're gonna just take whichever one's soonest. 14 seconds. All right. Okay. Alright, on the old train. Later, bruh. Did you do it? No? Fine then. Uh-oh. Oh, I can't see. We'll fix it. Place looks awesome. And all that's out there, you're actually moving along outside the city. And so the big technology thing for this year was this object container streaming, which is where how everything loads by distance. And so every now and then you can see some stuttering in between transitions when it's a loading and unloading. You know, it won't be timed just right, but they're getting it down from. But they do have to have memory leaks somewhere because no matter how much RAM you have, it seems to at some point access 90% of it. Whether you have 16 gigs or it's happening to people with 32. I don't know about people with 64. And see, I'm not sure if that's what they're doing with their textures and they're using something else. Like, um, some stuff, it definitely looks like it's modeled and it's so clear. Like even that glass. Oh, 128. Yeah. Yeah. So if you wind up, downloading it and start, you can start flying on Friday. See how much RAM percentage it uses. That'd be interesting to know. Alright, so I'm going to go to parameter gate. Oh! I saw this. Look at the Hammerhead poster. That's awesome. I don't know what kind of... Okay, that's like a... That's a Buccaneer. See, I don't see it attacking another Buccaneer. That looks like a Buccaneer. Or a Drake Herald. It's either a Herald or a Buccaneer. Whoa, why are you getting all up just looking at a sign? They don't have their guns drawn. Yeah, they gotta be on some type of rail, but they seem to... See, it's like, is that another player? It could be. Oh, nice. See, I thought about picking up one too, but I don't know. Yeah, download it and check it out. Right now is a good time. Just remember it is alpha, so so you're gonna have crashes here and there.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
Oh, I typed the slash the wrong way. Raj 1. Alright, so we're out here at parameter gate 6. So our first stop was gate 6. More dudes with no guns. Jeez, get a job. And people always wonder about the hype of Star Citizen, and it's like when you get a chance to play it, you gotta try it, because I didn't get it at first, even though it looked super cool. But then I bought it and started playing it, and then I was like, oh, I get it now. Like, so the biggest ship they have in game right now is probably the Reclaimer still, but the Hammerhead is the big fighter. And then I actually, when they had, so if you do go check out the website and look at the ships, because you can go to Pledge Store, and then go to just the ships and not the packages. You can look at each individual ships, and so right now though I think it's the Idris and the Kraken that are going to be player owned, but there's also like a massive Bengal carrier, and there's going to be like space stations to find. So I got to figure out the navigation of this whole deal. Alright, so you have those big towers there you can see. I think I want to try to try to drive to the next gate. Let's go for a spin. Oh, lost my train of thought. You know, and you can get into the game for as low as 45 bucks, and then 65 to include Squadron 42, which is going to be the single player, and that's the part of the game with Gary. God dang it, I can never remember his name. Yeah, like these big ships. So I own a Kraken. So if you go to the website, and so like I'm looking for crew, someone to help crew my ship as well, like an engineer. Gonna need a pilot and co-pilot. There is, if you look at the ships and go to the Kraken, they did do a commercial for it. What's going on here? Am I getting too close? Huh. I don't want you to veer off the path too much there. I guess I don't know the pad layout yet, so we'll probably cruise back to pad 6. Hop on the old train. It just doesn't sound good. There we go. No. It's not based on, because you'll have the in-game currency with it, which is United Earth credits. But then you get Alpha UEC too while you're in the test verse. So you don't lose anything permanently right now. You don't lose all your money you have outside of the game, because you get starting money when you buy a package, and if you use somebody's star code, you get an extra 5,000, and then I get like a referral point, and that should be in the description as well. But then that balance also reflects your balance you get in the universe now. But they throw in like an extra 40,000, I think, just in the test universe. So now they did, but you can never lose that stuff that's permanently locked to your account. So right now you can't lose anything permanently, even though in the future you could if you lost a ship that wasn't insured. Kind of like what happens in Elite. I've played quite a bit of that. Man, these conditions are harsh out here. Nice. So, but right now, when you buy ships in game, yeah, you're buying the digital ship and everything, but you're also really supporting a game that's not being pushed by a publisher. They're really doing things right. And I think, just the first maybe 2/3 of it was just them developing, the tools they need to create this stuff, and, design standards for the different manufacturers. And what up, bro? I think the female character comes in 3.5. So we have 3.4, which is, it says fourth quarter. So we should see that by, December, end of December. We should see 3.4. And then 3.5 will be in the first quarter. Yeah, and that's what it is. People have gotten extremely impatient. And You know, there's been people who's given up on the game, but I think with the past year they had, so that goes back there. They had just had a great year, and once this comes out for everyone to try for free, they can at least try to play it and see what they like. So that's going to City Gate. So that's City Gate 6. So we're way out. Wow. So we passed that artillery line. So down here at Metro Center, there may be a specific gate that comes up. And the first train we took just was Gate 6, and it only goes there and back. From the way those are angled. You can't go like from gate to gate. Well, go on another little train ride. Chris Roberts. Yeah, he also made all the Wing Commander games. Ultima was another one he made back in the day. Pretty much, he's got a grand vision. He's our visionary. So, I can't believe what they've been able to put together. It's been a long wait, because I looked at my account, and I think it was early 2015 when I first got into the game. Yeah, and I mean, Red Dead took like 4 years and like 260 million, and they got all the money, right up front, pretty much. But then, they're pushed by developers. But I heard a lot of good things about Red Dead, and that there was nothing really broken in it. So that's good. Some are still holding the quality of their games high. There's others that I'm sure you played. You get it, and it's almost not playable right when when it's first released. Or especially with console, you go and you get the hard copy, and there's a freaking like 3-hour update. I forget. I think that was the last Call of Duty game I got. It was for PS4. And I didn't get a chance to play it right away, but it was after the first maybe 2 weeks it was out. It just had a ginormous patch. Almost there. Well, I guess I could have looked out the window and enjoyed the view more. But, so right now, yeah, well, it's getting 20s. I haven't seen a dip into the teens too much. Alright, so we're just going to go to Metro Center. I think the gates are pretty... I think I may want to... I'd rather fly around them. Oh, hang on, buddy. Don't collapse because of a heart attack. Jeez. Yeah. I mean, what they're doing, especially with it being an MMO, massive multiplayer, although I wouldn't necessarily call it that. I mean, with the net code and get everything synced up with all the players, and just, the tech they're using for their textures and their models. And they're so open about it. Like, they have the YouTube channel with a couple shows on there. Like, definitely always check out Around the Verse. And then there's a Calling All Devs where they really get into the technology, which I really wasn't into at first, but now I've been following it a little more. Trying to be a little more knowledgeable. Like, I went the wrong way. I mean, you go and you spend 65 bucks for a starter package and watch it in the week because they may drop both. So they have two levels of starter packs. One doesn't come with Squadron 42 and one does. Yeah, you know, because it's progressing the way Chris Roberts wants it to progress. So, yeah, even if they had $1 billion, you know, I mean, they still would have took all this time developing the tools they needed to create procedural planets and all that. Now, maybe if they got, you know, a couple 100 million, and then they could just multiply their staff. You know, they could create all those systems that we're gonna have and all those set of rules and. But but this really became a hobby, so this is what I like to do for fun. I actually like taking the trains. You can sit on the seats. Come on, get it moving. Not hearing anyone talking on VoIP though. See, the VoIP actually works great, but only you only get a handful of people using it because people still like their Discord, which I do have a Discord. But definitely, if you guys are on, we can do some multi-crew stuff if there is a night, because I'll be streaming probably about every other night. And what's cool, you can also join organizations as affiliates, the ones that allow it. Like some are like, oh no, it's totally exclusive. Like we have to be your main organization. Most will let you join as an affiliate as you get to play with other players. But yeah, no, so they haven't. Besides internal QA, the last Squadron 42 update we seen was on CitizenCon. Yeah, definitely. That's the one thing I recommend is do the hardware first. Absolutely. But and then during these, because they only do the free flies maybe once or twice a year. Oh shit. Did that actually pop up or just make a sound? Huh. Oh, okay, the pop-up did work. I was wondering if it worked, because... So, I found out about this, because I guess OBS Studio, which is software used for streaming, is open source. So, there's... Streamlabs came up with an add-on, and it works pretty good. And see, I'm 36, and I had a mullet like that when I was a kid. Looked like MacGyver. If that's the one that popped up. I'm not sure if it was the medieval guy or the kid at the computer. Alright, so here's where you can finally buy ships in the game. So when you earn credits, this is kind of, and it's along the matrices they're coming up with. They said, you know, it may change, but so if I wanted to buy this it'd be 700,000 UEC. And so because this is a test universe, they give you like 5 million. And so I've upgraded some of the ships I have, and my gear. But so I could afford that. But you can go this way. I have a few more ships. Oh yeah, and that's what they're kind of designing it, or that's what they're designing it as. You know, you'd be able to play this thing. Now I think they're 2020 because it'll be 2850 in game. And there's the miner.
Welcome to the New Deal ship.
I know one of these evenings, I think 2 days from now, I want to go out and do some mining. Because that's real profitable too if you get into this agricium and laranite. And now I think they've added a few other minerals as well, and different places to sell them now. And there's the reworked Mustang. So this is the one Mustang that has a bed in it. And so that's why I don't know, the Aurora I always view it as a better starter pack, but the Mustangs do look nice, but the Beta, which isn't the starter pack one, you'd have to upgrade it because you can upgrade ships and pay the difference, which is real money at the moment. But this one actually has a bed in back there. You can see the door. And the other ones, because it's so small, has like a big cargo or a little cargo slot there. Or if it's a fighter, it's like for better equipment. I mean, the Squadron 42 is going to be like the movie. Yeah, well, you'll have all those actors because they got, you know, a bunch of good ones. Like at CitizenCon, it was announced that the guy who played Superman is playing a character in Star Citizen. And apparently, he was a huge Star Citizen fan and had his people approach Chris in his team. So that's the Phoenix. That's a luxury one, and this ship's awesome. But they make this one just out of your price range. So it's like you got to go out and go do some cargo runs. Oh, it doesn't let you drop it. But they did an awesome job. Like, that's better than the 600i series. Which I don't know. I guess we haven't seen the 600i luxury variant yet. And the Hammerhead. So this is one of the biggest ships in game. I think it might be like the Reclaimer, then the Hammerhead. But that's where you pilot. And they did improve the turrets a ton. So I think these are like, well, at least size 5 weapons on the turret. And then that pops out. But now a ship like this will go up to it. Oh, it's not working? Oh. So only two servers crashes, and I can't see how long the streams will go. So 2.5 hours and 2 crashes. That's not bad. I'll wait for this, but I want to pop something up. But yeah, so here's the Kraken. So that's the only ship I have, and these are some other things I have in there. And then the Saber Raven was a code I got from somebody for the Intel stuff. But the package I'm going for, and I'll have it in hopefully less than 2 months is what kind of wind up being six. So there's the View All ships, and so this Mustang Alpha you get in a but now you can buy ships standalone, but they won't have the game package. But and here's where you can like get the stats of the ships, and see that price those are certain concierge packs after you spent so much, which you won't see those because they didn't want to scare people off. But once you spent over $1,000, you get access to these certain packages, which if we go here. Oh, I guess it goes from the highest. So they have these ones that come with all sorts of ships, and the one I'm shooting for is this. And it doesn't have a bunch of ships that I want. It's just in this package there's 18 of them. And so with these packages, you get all this stuff, but what you look for is this lifetime insurance. So you can't sell these ships individually out of the pack yet. You will be able to at full release, because you'll be able to do with them what you want. But if you can upgrade like the Avenger Titan to like the Endeavor is a ship I want. So and those ships you upgrade to inherit that lifetime insurance. Yeah, and there's a gray market too, so you can. But so this is what I'm shooting for, and because I'm in Texas and there's a CIG in Austin, I have to pay tax on it. But I've already, put a lot into the Kraken because that one was $1,600. So I melted at like $1,000 worth of my hanger, and then paid the difference. But so that's what's cool about these, and the cheapest. But you only get these once you spend $1,000, which sounds crazy, but for me it's like a hobby, and that's been over the course of a couple years. So, and you won't have to spend that to certainly get going. But so these are the cheaper packs where you get the Alpha or the Aurora. The Aurora comes with a bed, and this little kind of centerway where you can get some cargo. Yeah, so you have to pay sales tax on ships. But somebody else who I actually play with on Discord, he's like, oh well, but now you get to say or he said you get to live in Texas, so oh well, something like that. Yeah, and see, so then once you do, like, there's people who spend thousands on like GTA and stuff, so that's why I don't get why people get so shocked when they see stuff like this. Like, after you play it once, you do get it. And so the cheapest pack with LTI, say, you had 4 ships that you knew you were going to get and wanted, you could always look for a pack like this. Because what I did once I hit Concierge, I melted all my ships I had. So I could get one of these packages with the lifetime insurance. And then I upgraded within that, because I actually got this one. And I had upgraded the Terrapin, this to a max, and I upgraded this to 2 ships. And this I actually upgraded to the 600i. So I had a really cool little pack with 5 ships, but then realized, like, I want to get into it more. And so I'm going to go not too crazy, but... So I have the Kraken, and then, yeah, this ship, but... as you upgrade that pack, it becomes more valuable too, so the melt value goes higher and higher. So say you started off with this, but then all of a sudden with the upgrades, it's like, oh, well, I'm pretty close to, the Mega Pack, which it's pretty easy to do when some of the upgrades are $100. No, you know there's all sorts of different ships to fly. Where because I'm not a good pilot by any means. You know, there's some people that that's their thing, but I want to be into like hauling and mining. Um, no, you know you don't need. Yeah, you don't need it. Like a lot of people like the keyboard and mouse, and then even an Xbox controller or PlayStation controller. Right, and so this is there's a $6,400 pack that you get a capital ship, and so the Kraken that I have is as big as the Idris, but the Idris is more. It was taken from the retired from the military, but so this Endeavor is a ship I'm going to get an upgrade. So here's the cool thing, like during these ship sales. So I go to ship upgrades, and so there's this from and to, but I don't have to go to my ships. I can go and it gives you the value, the trade value, which is always how much you paid for it, unless it's on a pack where you're upgrading, because some of that extra money is for. Oh, geez, I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry about that. I was looking at this. So, even though I don't have this Cyclone, I could actually go and buy for something that's available now. So say I wanted this, um, say I just wanted to upgrade the Cyclone, I can go to here, and then even though I don't own it, that's the price difference between them. So you can buy that, and so because I know I'm gonna be getting that one pack, the Interceptor pack, I'll just buy an upgrade of the most expensive ship that you can buy now, which is to close the money gap, and then I can upgrade to it later. So I got a pretty good system um, worked out. So I don't have to spend a lot now, and then in a month or two you see a lot more. Because basically I'm going to buy these upgrades for these ships that come up for sale but aren't always for sale. And this is how I can do it without buying the full price of the ship at the moment, and also being able to get LTI on it. Um, but then you can kind of see how the upgrades. So like a starter ship is I think the Aurora MR and the Mustang Alpha. So I guess if you want to throw a little bit more into the game, or you're planning on spending say $100, then I guess the best starter pack would be the Alpha, and then upgrade to the Avenger Titan is probably the best one to do, because this has that cargo bay in the back. And there is an Avenger starter pack, but it's the Avenger that has the holding cells in the back, which you can't use yet. So there's missions where you can actually pick up and carry cargo containers. So the Avenger Titan's like the best one to go to. The first upgrade I did was to the Gladius, but at that time it was all fighting, so I went for a fighting ship. But then like the Cutlass is probably the best all-around ship right now. So if you got a full game package at 65, yeah, you'd be up over $100. Yeah, so the Capital is probably twice the size of the Hammerhead. Temp's good. Alright, I gotta take a bio break. I'll be right back when this all fires up. see that loading bar flicker. Ever, you know, now definitely I think it's worth everyone getting it. Just when you get in there with that starter ship, you're gonna be like, oh man, I want to get one of these other ones. So definitely waiting for the hardware's the way to go. So that's what's cool too. When you just start, at least what was cool for me once I started putting more money into it. I could melt ships, buy other stuff with that store credit, because it doesn't let you don't get any returns, and you definitely agree to it when you click the acknowledgement. But yeah, so there's a bunch of corporations. There's all the ship manufacturers, Big Bennies, but as so there's the Saber. So these habs are what we're going to be able to buy starting out, I think, essentially. And, you know, the more money you make, the better hab you can get. But eventually, you know, be able to stake our own claims and put, you know, our own stuff in places, which will be interesting. And that's a Saber Raven, so that's the one ship I have. And that was with Intel's Optane promo, but people were selling the codes for $70 on Reddit on the gray market. And a Saber or anything is worth at least $200. So I was like, yeah. You know, invoice me through PayPal and boom. So, but that ship I can never sell. And apparently AMD did something with, way back with the R9 cards, where you could get a special edition racing variant of the Mustang that said AMD on it, which in game, you know, means something else, but it was like their promotion. Hey, that's coming up in 2.5. I think is the female character. So that'll be first quarter of 2019. So sometime before what? End of May? Alright. Firework popping out of his chest. This game just looks awesome. I'm doing an awesome job. Now they got the bags over their head, filter their air. Oh, that's a new one. CIG services code 15010. Huh. What up, bros? On guard for something. Yeah, people been posting some crazy things that the NPCs are doing. Like for a while, they were all going to the elevator, and you'd hop on an elevator, and there'd be like, you know, 20 NPCs on it for whatever reason. Oh, it's during the day. chip and go for a spin, eh? Lowerville. No E at the end of the line. Hang in there, buddy. Uh-oh. I think we got a total freeze up. Uh-oh. No crash report either? It is cool with these Ryzen chips. So that's what I have there. And it doesn't really boost above 3.6, but I think it goes higher, but only when all the cores are under like heavy load, and then it boosts the clock. So I'm not sure if the Ryzen 2800X, which does boost up to 4, or 2600X, Ryzen 5, would be better to game on and have this chip on the streaming PC. So I'm not quite sure what to do there. Yeah, it's a 23.9. Now, I thought with AMD stuff, it only boosts automatically. You can't overclock it like you can with Intel. And, I mean, right now I don't really need to, but I know having that 4.0 gigahertz really makes a difference. Because I noticed, because right now it's running on the first gen Ryzen 7 1800X, which was what? Oh, come on. Uh-oh. So this is 6 core 16, and I think my Ryzen 5 is 6 and 12, but it runs at a 4.0 boost. Oh, no kidding? Huh, I'll have to play around with it. Because it would be nice to get that little, you know, close to it. Verify. Huh, no patch push. Just gonna give it a couple minutes. So these are the games I play at the moment. And what was cool is they transferred my PS4, Frontier did, who makes Elite Dangerous, they transferred my wealth from PS4 to PC. And this game now looks amazing in VR and everything, but I don't have a VR setup. Although they have came down in price, so... Yeah, I'll have to take a look at it. Because I know I can go to Gigabyte's site, and it's a gaming motherboard. Like, it's a really nice motherboard, so it should... Alright, here we go. If you have the right cooling and don't overdo it, overclocking can be, you know, pretty safe. You know, a lot of people just want to do it to get, you know, a few more... Just a little bit quicker. But it is, you know, it is technically straining the part, but... Uh-oh, connection... And see, what's on the Ryzen 7 chip is a Corsair all-in-one. Corsair all-in-one. So it should... I like the all-in-one coolers. definitely on the CPU. You want to upgrade, like the heat sink, or put an all-in-one in it, or do a custom loop. But then a lot of graphics cards, certain ones are made to overclock, some aren't, and you can get a little boost out of those. I probably won't because this one's used, so I'll probably won't ever boost it. When I turn on Afterburner, it like revs up the fans, and there's no custom curve in there, so it just does something weird. Alright, I think we're caught in the infamous infinite load screen. Well, it was having a good run. I don't know if they're getting ready to push a patch. I'm not too sure. Oh, update available. That's what was going down. It was just, they were pushing an update. So, we can go to Spectrum. And so this is the social kind of site. So, patch notes. And testing, so all the new spots, Lorville. Major note, void may be inconsistent or not working, enemy AI. Yeah, see, so shooting other ships right now, they aren't taking any damage. Temporary remove beer as an option for the bartender. I wonder why they did that. Bug fixes. Oh, the couch is now interactable. Huh, sounds like, well, I guess we'll do a launch, eh? Another patch update, so this will be H. Alright. Getting back into it. Alright. So far so good. Keep going, keep going. You got it. You got this. Getting some flicker in. I mean, it's low and it's doing something. Using 8 gig, 8.9 gigs of megs of RAM. Come on, let's go. Oh, there we go. Didn't reset my stuff. I think my hab's gonna be a little cleaner than this. Not that I'm a neat freak, but it's pretty trashed. You gotta have a little bit finer comforts, you know, when you're essentially always surrounded by steel. elevators are the worst thing about Lorville. I actually enjoy the train ride. Oh, did I miss the door opening? Alright, I was looking down. Sure did. Got lucky there, didn't get called back up. What up, bro? Hey, there's another player. There's another one. What up, Jimbabari? And it's the race. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna beat you to the elevator. I wish I could trip someone. I'm running a little too hard. Getting a little wheezy. A little bit heavier gear on. What those guys do. Okay, we'll stop. God. So gear definitely makes a difference. Got another player. Okay, rolling the mouse wheel increases and now see that's what I was running this game in was a 1050 Ti and at 1080p. Gonna pass out before he makes it. Just wanna take a seat. Oh, now you do want to pick up like a you do want an SSD on this. This game is it's one of the only games that I've seen that have been really sensitive to being on an SSD. I think you can get like a 60 gig for 30, 40 bucks, something like that, less than that. 'Cause that's what I had to do for a little while. Oh, see, now you do need the 16 gigs of memory. I don't think that has to do with the memory leak thing now. Now, I know I had to, I had to upgrade my RAM to 16. And then I actually have, but it definitely requires more than 8 gig. But I know most computers, even laptops, have room for one more slot. Oh, look at all these people. Mad dash. Can't even get through the... Because RAM is so expensive. Or was, it's coming down now. I got some pretty cheap RAM in both of mine. But, well, I guess it's G-Skill and it just doesn't have the fancy heat sinks on it and stuff. All these people cost. So now here is the tough part. Because when there's all these people here, it's going to say the queue is full. So... we'll take that bait out for a spin. And I don't own all these ships. These are just what they gave us in the test. Which I should have the Hammerhead and Buccaneer. Okay, so it popped up at 6 right away. Everyone got their ships. That looks like a 6 to me. That's so awesome that the hangar call-ups are pretty well fixed. I'm not sure about when the queue's full, but... Oh. So somebody said to... Somebody said, so anyone notice the Intergalactic Expo signs? So that has to do with, because they call the ship sale kind of the Intergalactic Expo. But nobody said, is there a convention center near city yet? Not here. I'm trying to see what, because I may go back. It's so weird. They do such weird things before you get to it, huh? Okay, that one has come. And away we go out of... Sorry, this has a glitch where you have to do the landing gear twice. What's kind of cool about that one? Whoa! Throttle was up still a little. Boom. See the no-fly zone. This place is just amazing. Just amazing. So I was looking for the windows. Because there's a ton of hangars here. But where you're actually looking out of. There's that observation window. I think it's right there, just to the left of that yellow crane. I can see kind of in there. I don't know. Could be totally wrong. That's pretty awesome. Well. What do we got that's landing there? We're taking off. Oh, there's a 600i. See where he's going? I'm not getting beeped at or anything. Whoa, careful! Nice takeoff! Trashing that nice thing. You probably thought I hit him. Yankees into the no-fly zone. It's just, you got so much more gravity here. You just gotta have a straight. Oh! That was a pilot. So that was the 600i. And I had one for a little while, but that's the one of the luxury exploration ship. It's got a bar in it, a TV, a huge like master suite. I can't believe I'm not getting like a crime level or anything. I just want to see the people taking off. I want to see the hustle and bustle. And I mean, even in third person here, it pops up the no-fly zone. Oh, right there's the observation deck. Because there's the hammerhead and the constellation. Yeah, so not all ships are going to have them, but they have atmospheric, like, V-motes or something they're calling them. Which are thrusters in gravity. Because some of these spaceships you won't be able to take into like land at a planet, they'll just be too big. So anti-gravity. And they do have what's called quantum drive, so that's for jumping system to system. And then you have your regular thrusters and boost. Or afterburner. There's an afterburn and a boost, but the boost just boosts the maneuvering thrust. What'd he say? Alright. We've been buzzing around there for too long, I think. Oh, there's people talking on VoIP. But my microphone's hooked up through my streaming computer. I tried a splitter at the little preamp, but am I still in the no-fly zone? Go take a little buzz-see around. I think as long as you're at above 3,000 feet. Because of course not every little bit of that's detailed in like you can go to it. Although maybe, I don't know. So I'm sure they have to set limitations. I'm not seeing the bubble at all. Oh! Okay. What about these areas over here? Ooh-wee. Alright, now there should be these towers, like right there, that blue light. That's how you know you're near a gate. Think I can fly under there? This is radical. Oh! I think we got a crash. Well, guys, it is getting late for me. So, see that 3,000 error. But I appreciate everyone stopping by, checking it out. Probably be on about every other night and kind of shooting for. Probably wind up being on tomorrow. since holiday week. But alright, man, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.